And now we have a special message from Michael and Melinda Haystack about our stewardship.
When I first realized that the theme for our annual stewardship campaign would be all in, the church experiences of my growing up years came flooding to mind. All, as in my family, 2 sets of grandparents, 2 sets of aunts and uncles, 4 cousins, the 4 of us in my family were constantly at the church. Every time the door was open, we were in the door. The only reason not to be there was a contagious disease or the one Sunday night a year the Wizard of Oz shone, and my mother somehow felt that was theologically appropriate for us to be home. Beyond our family, there were many loving hearts. There were many willing hands to serve and do what needed to be done. However, open minds were not as plentiful as the theology emphasized guilt more than grace.
Let's jump ahead a few decades. This takes place right after the pandemic receded. Michael and I made the difficult decision to seek a new faith community to enjoy during our retirement years. We hoped to find a church that was willing to balance the tough issues of social justice through the lens of the gospel. We needed to be a part of a worship experience that made the arts an integral part of the service. Boy, did we find that. We sought a welcoming and open congregation whose warmth made it feel like home, and whose offerings would encourage us to grow as well as to serve. At the recommendation of several friends, we decided our first visit in the search would be here at First Presbyterian. Neither of us had ever darkened the door in our 20 years of living in Ann Arbor. It was a crisp and sunny January day, the start of a new year, and for us, the start of a new chapter in our faith journey. As we left the building that day, Michael raised a simple question. Well, and my response is, I'm all in. Within a few weeks, we were both all in.
We found what we were longing for here thanks to the wit and wisdom of DPH and so many other voices from the pulpit.
Mel's welcoming warmth and facilitation of community is unparalleled in any experiences we've ever had at church.
The dynamic duo of musical Davids and their supporting cast consistently fulfill our desire for a high level of artistry and worship.
A thriving children's and youth ministry was readily apparent, and the intergenerational opportunities for fellowship were very appealing.
The behind-the-scenes details realized by Brent and Randall, as well as so many others, allow us to focus on being invested in the moment.
The smiles, the hugs, and the handshakes offered by the congregation welcome us each time we pass through these doors. We had found home, and it was a very warm and welcoming one.
As Mel recently taught us all, there is a difference between a perfunctory thank you and an intentional expression of gratitude. The annual stewardship process is necessary, but it is definitely not perfunctory. Rather, it offers us an opportunity to tangibly express our gratitude for God's many gifts as we consider an appropriate thank you for what DPH has labeled as the trajectory of grace. It is this grace that radiates lovingly within these walls as many willing hands send help and hope out into our world.
As we conclude this month of stewardship emphasis, may our hearts and our minds be open to give as we're able, to serve with our gifts, and to love as we have been first loved by God's grace.
We have much to celebrate, much to be grateful for, and still much to do. No guilt, only grace, as you consider how best to support what draws you to this all-in congregation.